Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Black Waves. I am your DMGM storyteller, The Forgotten Dreams, or Forgotten Dreams, depending on what site you're on, because we are streaming to 3 platforms. Woo! Joining me, I have 3 lovely companions to be my guinea pigs for the night. We would have a fourth, but unfortunately, I believe that our fourth player forgot what time it was and is asleep at 3 a.m. in Germany. So, for now, we have the illustrious Wade.
Hello, I am Wade. I'm here to be the resident Kobold Ranger.
No. And Nash.
And Nash, of course. I mean, goes without saying, we're basically connected at the hip.
Next up, we have Sinner Thunderhall, brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Ellen. I play Senna Thunderhall. I am a bardish, cleric-ish bard thing, and a half-elf.
And last but not least, we have Sasha Oak River, I do believe, brought to you by...
Hi, I'm CyberMama47, also known as Sasha Oak River, and I am a failing, swashbuckling rogue
Who wants to be a cleric?
who desperately wants to be a cleric.
Yep.
And I'm just kind of a poser, but
Swashbuckler.
Well, I've been a poser for a while as trying to be an assassin. That didn't work out well, and I just got frustrated and took up all my gear a couple of episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think the crown really did me in.
All right. So, moving on. For our recap as to what happened last time, we'll go with Cinna, because she remembers the most.
Okay. So we were fighting a really big scary guy and some smaller, not so scary things, and we finished that fight from the week before that. In the loot was some sort of an evil crown that I somehow managed to hook onto a hammer, which is now following me around, floating behind me like evil Mjolnir. Yeah. We traveled back the way we came. We stopped at a town and camped. We heard some fighting sounds. We passed that creepy lake, the creepy black lake, which was
is
no longer
there.
a lake, and it's just really, really old ruins. There was a signpost with just a letter D on it. We took some notes about that. We found some weird mounds on the ground that ended up to be skulls and skeletons covered in dirt and moss, and we heard some sort of a Dementor scream from inside the city.
Yeah. All right.
That's what I got.
Perfect. And the things that you fought beforehand was a Dreadwalker and a pack of gnolls, regular gnolls.
Big scary thing, less scary things.
Yeah. All right. So we come in with there is no more fog. It's just a surrounding of opening that leads into the very thick forest that you've been walking through. Bless you. For many weeks now. And the large clearing leading to the now massive city ruins where a Faerun city once stood.
well, there's not much we can do unless we want to go in city with screams. Best
Not so
keep
much.
going home.
I agree.
Look, I'm just going to sketch it, and I really think we should move on because we already have one scary thing following us.
Yeah, sorry.
And almost as a little reminder, you watch as evil Mjolnir kind of just circles around your horse, floating about a good 7 inches off the ground.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be floating around
Your
like a evil
goat.
cat and trying to
Your
rub
goat,
against
not your horse.
your
Your goat.
leg.
Ew.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead and the illustrious Nash and Dish combo shall make me their survival check for leading
With
the
guidance?
pack. With guidance, of course.
Let's see.
You don't have
hopefully-
favored terrain, do you?
No, I'm revised ranger. I just have a natural explorer, which means I ignore difficult terrain, advantage on initiative rolls. First turn of combat, I have advantage on my tag roll, blah, blah, blah. Difficult terrain doesn't slow our group. Our group can't become lost except by magical means. Even when engaged in other activity like traveling, foraging, navigating, or traveling, I can remain alert to danger, etc., etc.
Great. Cool.
So, I mean, if we're backtracking, in theory, I know exactly where we're going.
And you do. It's just it's not about knowing where you're going. What it's about is the pathways that you can try and find to get there quicker than you normally would. That's what
Right.
the survival rolls are all about. The speed at which you get from point A to point B.
And guidance of 19.
19, not bad. So you guys go ahead and head back into the forest, and you there's not much of a speed advantage that you can really get other than going into the forest, traveling the 400 or so feet into the forest before finally hitting the dirt road that begins to lead up into the mountain path itself. That will take you to the... Hold on. Yeah. So the mountain path itself that will take you just at the base of the mountains, and then it'll kick back in, and you'll hit Garen's house. Or Garen's... Hold on. Let me double check.
Other Garen.
Other Garen. Yes, other Garen's house. Yes, other Garen's house. And I am still getting feedback from Cyber Mama. Okay. Are you guys going to just continue guiding it along the way until nightfall hits? Or are you guys going to stop at Garen's house and check in on him or anything like that?
I think it would be nice
Yeah.
to stop at Garen's house, say
Okay.
hi, and sleep in a safe place.
Okay. So you guys go ahead and take the trail, and you're undisturbed, as it were, on the road to Garen's house. And eventually
Keep my eyes
you do...
peeled. There's fucking skeleton ambushes in this neck of the woods.
There was. Yes, that is very true. Yeah. The eyes that Sasha is making. So you guys go ahead and you come around the bend and you can see Garen's home. It's been cleaned up a little bit. You remember that it was a sort of a very old house that was slowly being repaired and put back together when you first left it. It looks like they've fully repaired the porch, so it's no longer rickety and leaning. The roof looks like it's had some of the holes that were in it patched up. And new tiling is in the process of being done. It looks like they've cleaned out the greenhouse, and there aren't any window panes in the greenhouse yet. But it looks like they've removed all the old glass, and they're getting ready to do that. As you can see, several pieces of cloth partially covering several panes of glass that are lined up on the walls to the greenhouse. The yard has been cut. And the front door has been replaced.
Yeah, I'm really a fixer-upper.
Yeah. But you don't see them currently moving about on the property.
I call out, Garen, Garen, are you here?
Nothing.
Just up from the horse behind us.
What time of day is it?
With the traveling that you've been doing, I'd say it would be about 2 hours after dark.
Okay.
Someone should be asleep.
Yeah. I'll go onto the porch if there's a porch, and
Yeah, there is.
maybe give a very soft knock.
Okay.
I don't want to wake them up if they're asleep.
Eventually you do see lantern light make its way through the house from what you can assume is like the rear of the house, according to the light that's going through some of the windows. And you hear a small child's voice from behind the door. We don't want any!
Sophia.
Oh!
You're...
Oh, hello!
Hi, do you remember us?
Yes!
You were here a while back. We just were passing back through. Thought we'd say hello.
Oh! Okay.
Is your dad here?
No. He'll be back
Are you supposed to tell people that?
soon. And almost as if it's, divine timing, all of you can see the light of a lantern making its way up the road from the path that you will travel tomorrow. And there is a horse that's being walked by Garen, still in his dark, tattered brown cloak. A bow and quiver kind of hanging loosely from his left hands, and a large doe is strapped to the back of the horse.
Wait.
And he kind of looks up and he waves the lantern in your general direction. And it takes him about 10 minutes to actually get up the road to you guys. And, well, it's good to see all of you alive. And I see that the other Garen is asleep and tied up. Is he all right?
He's been like that for a while. He's okay.
It's something he drank. It's kept him drunk basically for the last couple of days, even through a fight, which is the weirdest thing. I'm thinking that he needs to see a local healer.
Possibly. Please, come in. Do you need shelter for the night?
Well, yes, but I don't think we should come in because we fought something on the road and its crown thing has been following us, and I don't think it should be in here.
He kind of looks down and stares at the evil Mjolnir floating 7 inches above the ground next to the giant goat, who has a name that I can't remember at the moment.
Timo.
That's what it was. Timo at this point is nonchalant about the evil Mjolnir, but he watches, he kind of stares at it and studies it, and he needs to make a roll. So, for him, he's a +3. And he has advantage. Unfortunately, it's still 11. Alright. Okay.
I described to him our fight with the thing and about how weird it was, and I just I wanted to maybe pitch our tents here and stay the night and like share some rations and make a decent meal, but I'm kind of scared to come in because I don't want that crown thing anywhere near his daughter.
Stay out here with it. You can go inside and have some shelter. I don't mind.
So, tall, creepy,
Yeah, but you
and
can't be
armored
left
is
alone with it because it
Malak.
might jump you.
Leading a pack of gnolls seem to obey command but keep distance. Being close made one sickly.
Oh. Dreadwalker. Gotcha. That's the one. Haven't seen them in a millennia.
Well, apparently they're back, and
Oh no, they've always been around. They're in the Black Forest. You guys went to the Black Forest?
We headed north, trying to find a city where my quarry is.
Did the grass, trees, and sun get gray suddenly?
I think they did, right?
You had a vision of yourself seeing the heart in an area where the grass, trees, and even the sunlight seemed gray, but you all physically did not go to that place.
No, found Walker in green place near ocean. Seemed normal, but did see dream of place like that.
Mm. Okay. You're going to. Do any of you know how to dispel magic?
I do not.
Any of you have? There's a cleansing spell. Is it?
I have lesser restoration.
Yes,
That's the best I can do.
Yes, that will do. You can use. You said lesser.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to make another roll. So for his Arcana, he's a +6.
Yeah, totally. Like level 2 spell, that's totally fine to take out ultimate evil.
No problem.
Okay, all right. It'll take a lot longer with lesser restoration. If you had normal restoration, you could maybe restore the hammer twice. And Greater. That's the one. I didn't remember the name of it.
Yeah, there's no middle. It just we only deal with extremes, either minor or major.
Yeah. But if you...
it'll be a while before I have the power to cast that.
Yeah, that would just make it faster, though. So essentially you have to rip the threads of evil from your hammer, and then there's a whole cleansing ritual. And don't touch
Hopefully
that.
I could cast it 6 times.
Right, but with lesser, you need the equivalent of, like... a fortnight.
Since you seem to know way more about this than we do, what will happen if I just let this thing follow me around?
Oh, it'll just follow you. But if you ever touch it, that's where the fun begins. Not fun for you, though.
Right. Well, I didn't.
Your
think
soul
so.
gets ripped out. You know, you have the whole metal growing out of skin. Oh! Yeah, you become a Dreadwalker. Only you're female, so that becomes worse for you because not only is your soul ripped out, you're then consumed by the Dreadwalker that comes from your skin. The Dreadwalker becomes a greater Dreadwalker. It's a bunch of fun stuff.
I assume you're using fun in an ironic way.
Sarcastic, yeah.
Like, if I wear gloves, is that a level of protection? Does it have to be bare skin?
The gloves, and remember, we don't have these around here anymore. Well, maybe in the old city. Your people wouldn't happen to have a divine artifact touched by a necromancer, would it?
We could ask.
Okay.
Probably not.
Yeah, you're gonna need a divine object touched by a necromancer to be held within magically protected gauntlets. So you would hold whatever the object is in one hand, and then you would grab the crown with the other hand, and I could do it. It's just not a good idea to touch. Let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, I've been trying to not do that.
Unless
successful so far,
you really wanted to change bodies. Because if you wanted to change bodies, what you could do is when the Dreadwalker is consuming your body and your soul is ripped out of you, someone could be forced to eat your soul, and you become that person kicking their soul out of their body and consuming it in the process.
That seems
It's
a little
some dark stuff.
bit much.
Yeah.
So I can take 2 weeks and somehow get this away.
The fortnight would allow you to detach it from your hammer. The fortnight wouldn't actually allow you to get rid of it. To get rid of it, you're going to need a necromancer of very high power, or at least a divine object touched by a powerful necromancer.
Okay, so there's no point.
You might
in
also want someone who
detaching
can
it
do
from
banish.
the hammer.
Someone who can do banish would be very useful as well. They need to be the one with the gloves.
Okay.
Seems very complicated.
It is convoluted.
Okay, so say we did find a necromancer or this object and someone who can banish.
Mhm.
Can you like write down some instructions on how we would take care of this, or would they know? Like, would someone of that power already know how to do this?
I commanded armies of the dead. I mean, sure, my boss was a necromancer, but I wasn't exactly like, yo, boss, what's the deets on that necromancy?
So you don't know how to do it.
I
You
don't know
just
how to
what
destroy it.
takes
I just
to-
know what it
okay.
takes. I don't know
All
the
right.
ritual. I don't know hoodoo voodoo.
Well, could you just write down what you know, and that way we can hand it to the most senior person we know, and they can maybe figure out the rest?
I would not say hand them, maybe show them.
Yeah, definitely don't hand them that. Also,
No,
it's
the paper. The
oh,
paper.
oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, no problem. In the meantime, you can throw a. And he notices that you threw a blanket over it, and it's like,
There's still some string hanging
Yeah.
off of it.
okay, maybe you can't throw a blanket over it.
Yeah, we tried that.
Have you tried putting it in a box?
We put
just-
it in a chest of drawers, and it would have eventually broken. its
Broken
way
out, yeah, absolutely. We can put it
Maybe
in a
like a
box.
metal chest might be a good idea.
I have a safe. It's not fully done, but I do have some of the locking mechanisms done. I could lock it in there temporarily.
Yeah, but we can't carry it with us.
Oh, I can. I can totally touch it. It won't. I don't have any flesh to shape into metal.
Okay, are you suggesting
come
we
with
leave it
us?
here with you in the safe?
You know, I would say yes, but I have a certain young one to look after, and I'm not willing to risk that.
Right, no, I get that. Like, we don't want to leave it here with you if it's going to bring danger to her.
Oh,
so,
it definitely will bring
I
danger. I mean, you're looking at least
appreciate
12
it.
Dreadwalkers that are going to be following you for the next year or so,
okay,
unless you get rid of it.
right.
Or defeat all 12.
And we just have 12 magic hammers following us.
Don't do that. Don't. Just don't. That cycle can loop. I've seen it loop.
All right.
Just, you know,
well,
when
we
they
know
die, don't
more
touch
now
their
than we
crowns.
did before.
Yeah.
So, in your experience, how best to dispose of crown if we manage to free it from hammer?
Lock it in an anti-magic cage, which we don't have anymore because the only one that I knew of is probably buried under thousands of tons of rock.
We could maybe have Cypher Diaz make one.
Takes months.
Or
You're going to
we-
need a special metal, from what I know.
Or we can ask Garen to take a short trip with us to the town and talk to Cypher Diaz.
I'm pretty sure the town is still a good ways away from here.
Also, are they going to
Your town
like
is
welcome the
3
skeleton
days.
guy?
Yeah, our town's a couple of days.
Yeah, 3 days.
away.
You're 3 days from town.
And he's trying to build up a house here. You want him to just take 6 days off building his house?
It'd be
Well-
great if you had a teleportation circle.
If we do have one, it's only set up in city.
Then again, don't put the crown through a teleportation circle. Because that'll take you back to the Undercities.
So we have to get this off of her before we can teleport.
Yeah. Were you planning on teleporting?
Maybe.
How about we come inside? Let's agree to come inside. We can have dinner.
Well, she can't because it's following.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll just make sure Sophie does not go near the hammer, and we can lock it up in the safe. You know, very carefully. I can physically grab it, so not as carefully as you would think, but careful enough.
Okay.
All right, come on.
I untie Garen.
Desh, could you do me a favor while I take care of this crown issue and set the table?
What is favor you need?
Would you mind skinning and salting this dough?
Oh, simple. I assume you have salt, yes?
Yes, I do. There's a few barrels of it that are down in the cellar. I can get those brought up.
Ah, yes. I can give it a shot.
Okay. So he goes ahead and he goes down to the cellar very quickly. I'm getting a lot of feedback, by the way, from someone. But he goes ahead and he heads down into the cellar. And he brings up a barrel of salt and cracks it open. You don't need the whole barrel to salt the dough, but it's just, you know.
Well, Dash still set to work as he's expected.
Yeah, so go ahead and you're going to give me a survival check. Because he has the tools and a rack for easy use, you're going to go ahead and get advantage on this roll. And if Senna wants to do guidance, she totally can.
I'll do Bardic Inspiration.
Alright. Gotta keep using them up. It's still a D6, right?
It's a D8 now.
Okay, so got
D8.
it. Alright, so advantage. So we had 24, and then a D8. 29.
Wow. Okay, so you get this done very quickly. In fact, you get it done so well that you're done in roughly about 15 minutes. Doesn't take long at all. The only thing that takes the most time is basically cleaning it. So, you guys go ahead and go inside, and he goes into what you can assume is probably the master bedroom of the house. And you listen as there's the sound of dragging metal for a few seconds before you watch him come out of the room with a large safe. It's roughly the size of a weapons safe. So think an armoire, but made out of metal with a giant lock on it. But you can see that it clearly has a... he's looking to put a combination lock onto it. But right now, like, the top section where the combination lock would go has been shaved away. And there's a lot of rusted gears in it. And he's slowly replacing the gears. So only half of the gears are completely finished. So right now it's just like the turning latch that sends the metal bars into the mechanism at this point. But he carefully grabs the hammer and places it in there. And he does not turn into a horrible metal creature. And then he closes it as best he can, and he takes some rope and double goes around the safe, ties the handle, does as much as he can. You're muted. You're still muted.
Still muted.
That's a huge relief. Let's have dinner.
Fantastic. It's at that point that that Desh comes in.
My skin has been cleaned, folded, ready for use later, as dough is on rack.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Make sure to give any extra fat. You can go ahead and give that right to... It started with a D. No, it didn't. Your Desh. It is started with a G. Nash. That's the one.
The G is silent.
The G is silent. Okay. I'll have to remember that. Whoa, what is going on with that camera? Interesting. Well, moving on.
What?
So he goes ahead and he takes what he had cooking off of the stove and goes ahead and puts out a few bowls and a plate. And you all have like rice, some lima beans, and boiled chicken. Of course, he doesn't eat. But luckily, he somehow made enough for all of you. So.
You miss it?
What? Do I miss what?
With a fork. Just kind of takes a bite.
Oh, eating. I mean, I can do it. It's very difficult. seeing as it doesn't get
Doesn't it
stored
just
anywhere.
Fall
yeah,
back.
yeah, it kind of
More,
falls through.
more
But
like
I can get the taste. Yeah.
Oh.
you do still taste.
Yes, yes. There's these sensory receptors that you get through the magic in your jaw that allow you to taste, but it all just falls through your rib cage.
So do you just feel empty all the time? Do you feel hungry? Do you feel full?
No. It's hard to describe. It's kind of like being blind, where you don't see black. There's just nothing. You know what I mean?
I see. It is curious. My understanding is just life and death, not what comes after.
If you're asking also if I remember what the afterlife is like at all, no. That there's a process. Apparently, you lose your memories whenever you go in between the astral plane and all that fun
wow.
stuff.
Do you even
Yeah,
remember
special.
who you used to be?
Yes, but I don't remember what was in the astral plane. So, or the nine hells, wherever I ended up. Although I guess you could visit the nine hells if you found a mage who could.
I mean, it's a plane.
Yeah. Just like the astral plane is a plane, so you could technically go there, but you wouldn't have the experience that a soul would have in the complicated.
Right.
I wonder.
So how have
if-
you been?
I've been fine. Sorry, you've given me a weird thought. Souls in the astral plane are kind of like the ocean in the astral plane. Githyanki have giant ships in the astral plane, so do Githyanki sail through souls?
Maybe.
Did someone sail through me?
Possibly.
This is weird. All right, moving on.
I'm sure it didn't hurt.
You never know.
It might have tickled.
How have all of you been, aside from evil hammers, and how's the heart going?
It has taken turn.
Oh, what's happened?
It was lost for a time. I no longer felt it. But then felt it again. It is aboard ship with great fire in the midst of it, on the ocean, fleeing demonic ships.
Oh, a fire ship. It's got the giant brazier of brass. And
Yes.
Yeah. What was it made out of? Bronze,
Uh,
silver, gold.
Do we make out the metal from this? 'Cause
You
it was like
did.
a pod.
Yeah, you did. You could barely make out that was gold, I
Aw.
believe.
It was made of gold.
Brig, navy brig, or galleon size.
I believe it was galleon, right?
It was the
It was-
size of
It was
a
like
small
the
dragon.
size. It was like the size of two galleons put together.
It was. It was as if it was 2 galleons, from what I recall. Unless galleon here is different than where are we from.
What's the size of a galleon where you're from? And you tell
Yeah,
us.
yeah, vague galleon size.
Yeah. That would be the size of a navy brig here. So yes, that galleon would be like 2 of those. Yep, there you go. Although sailing hasn't really been done outside of demonic sailing for quite some time. So yep.
What's up with the Kraken?
You mean
It's just a
Yiktu?
kraken.
What, it has a name?
Yiktu, the great serpent of the sea.
Oh,
Nothing fancy. It's just there's a big fish in every pond.
Yeah. There's always a bigger fish, too. There's something bigger than Yiktu.
Is there like something you have to pay it in order to get free passage, like a ferryman or something?
Wasn't a Navy man. Couldn't answer that question. Although there was this great song that they had. It goes something like, in the Navy, something, something, something. You can help your fellow man.
This place is always very strange. Many things that...
I know there's an elder god in the ocean somewhere. Out to the west.
Just friendly Cthulhu.
No, Cthulhu is... Pretty sure Cthulhu is dead.
Good to know that's canon.
Your heart wasn't headed west, was it?
I believe it was into the ocean. And I believe we were on like a western-facing coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do believe it headed deeper into the fog to west.
Okay. Well, what lies west is the... What was the name of it? There's the Brass Archipelago. And there's a continent out there somewhere. Don't remember the continent's name. It was highly developed. Dead civilization. Super cursed. No explorer that ever went. Came back with all of their men, something like that. Yeah. But there is
That doesn't
also an
bode
elder
well.
god out there. Yeah.
Well, God or no, sea or land, I must go west.
We're following that heart.
You're going to need a very big boat.
We are seeking answers. We do not have good seafaring in our city, but our mage friend, he is crafting a rather unsound plan to perhaps allow us to attempt to hijack one of the demon ships.
Oh. Reckless and stupid. Very heroic. Could possibly get everybody killed. But has the
Yeah.
chance to look completely awesome.
Believe so, if sending us to fall onto the ship and then take it over after, likely.
Oh no, that's just stupid. Why would you... They have portals. That's not... What?
We have simply told our mage friend he is as unknowing as we are when it comes to the things of this world.
Ah.
The only ships we know of are these demon ones, so we must find a way to commandeer one.
You might want to go to the dwarves.
Where are the dwarves?
North.
So the dwarves make ships?
The dwarves make ironclads. So yes.
Yes.
Although wrestling one out of a dwarven merchant's hands, or even commandeering one for a short period of time, would cost you a lot of money. Northeast, by the way, not north-north. Don't go straight north. That leads right to the Black Forest.
Would you happen to know the name of a dwarf or something? Maybe we can send a magic
No,
message.
no. Very much no. Every dwarf I met, I killed.
Oh,
What can I
Yeah.
say? Underground cities, constant warfare. That was my stick.
yeah. Didn't think about that.
I did know a dwarf at one point, but I mean, he died of dysentery.
For joy.
It's actually more common than you think.
Wow.
And that's when Sophia goes, "What's dysentery?"
It is your charge. Maybe best you explain.
Oh, it's where you crap yourself to death, basically.
Lots of poop.
Ew.
Yeah.
You could die from that?
Yeah.
She kind of just looks down at herself.
How to poop yourself to death?
I think I'm done eating now. She puts down her fork.
Oh, honey, it doesn't happen naturally. It's okay. It's dysentery is a disease. You're not going to catch dysentery. Don't worry.
You will if you visit a battlefield, though. Never visit a battlefield. That's
Don't
the
go anywhere
home
near
of
battlefields
dysentery.
with those farms.
Yeah.
I'm sure your daddy will make sure you go nowhere near any battlefields.
Very true. Even though we're technically... Never mind.
Then he raids Dash, finishing his meal. We shall stay here for the night, if that is amicable once more.
It's fine. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, please, I've taken up enough of your time. Go ahead and get rest. Relax. I can go ahead and take watch. And,
Hopefully, we've been interesting company.
yes, it's been some time since I've gotten to remorse about Dreadwalkers and weird stuff. Yeah.
Yes, well, Dash is going to head outside and...
Ooh, would you like any mushrooms? We've gotten the greenhouse fixed up a bit, and we've started a small mushroom patch.
Are
I'd
they
love some mushrooms.
living
And
mushrooms
Yes,
or are
edible,
they
edible.
enlightenment?
you know what?
No,
How
not
about I
enlightenment.
also give you some worms?
Oh, what kind?
These are silkworms.
Do you show them the
They make
bag?
cocoa silk. Yeah.
Oh! You shouldn't have these.
Why not?
These things... What have you been feeding them?
Just rations. And
None of your
also-
rations have jelly, right?
No.
Okay. Great. Never give them jelly. Ever.
Why?
Define jelly.
Like,
Jelly comes from
jelly
fruit.
comes from
Fruit
fruit.
bad.
Yeah. No, not fruit itself. Just specifically when it's jelly, because they can turn jelly into royal jelly, which is what they make to make a queen. And then you get the giant one, and then you get the predatory ones, and then you get the whole thing, and caverns and silk and murder and mayhem, and it's all fun
You're
stuff.
carrying around an insect apocalypse in your bag.
I mean, not insect apocalypse. They could maybe wipe out a city.
No jelly. Got it. I make a note because I have a silk farm at home.
Yeah. That's gonna be fun. Yeah. Where did you find these?
They were
In the forest.
east of our home city, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
east
east of the
first
city in
time.
the forest.
You should maybe burn that forest
Why?
and plant as many acorns as you can.
Well, where we found them, we also found squirrel that threw acorns at us. So
That should-
Raku.
Oh,
Yeah.
Raku! Yeah, how is he doing? Have you seen him recently?
I had not seen him except in the dream with the dark place.
In his dream, Raku died.
I wouldn't be surprised. Okay.
Yeah, it was long overdue for, I suppose.
Very much. I mean, that little bastard has been around for ages. It's about time something killed him.
I think the Dread Walker things killed him.
Ah, yeah. That would make sense. Especially if he was... that's right. He had that whole aversion to following, like, magical nature things. It probably went after your heart. Did you
Wow.
ever tell him about it, or...
I not mention that I saw it.
No, I think he was just in general nosy.
Yeah, that's generally him.
And I think he just had a nose for trouble.
Yeah, plus there were only
But I
like 4
thought he
things
had
that
a
could kill him.
a good sense of running away when things got dangerous. He normally did that with us. Whenever anything got dangerous, he would run away.
He doesn't like shifting around people, so yeah. No, whenever he's around people, he always runs. But as soon as he's by himself, boom! Dreadwolf.
Well,
And
unfortunately, those Dreadwalker things just
yeah,
killed him.
they're like one of the 4 things I think that can kill his kind. So yeah, that would make sense. Oof. Rachel's gonna be pissed.
He was a crafty little guy, but I kind of sort of miss him and feel bad that he's dead.
Don't. He was a dick.
So, I actually built a business with these worms back at home,
Aw.
where we just feed them and they make silk and we sell the silk.
Is there jelly at home?
Yes, but we wouldn't feed them jelly.
Say
Right.
that, but then one day, the intern with the peanut butter jelly sandwich leading over the tank.
You have no idea how close you are right now. Okay, well, keep it far away from them.
Okay. Can
And
I borrow the rock, Senna? Can I I think I need to call Cypher Diaz to get the word out that
if you
really
yeah, if one of them
Exorcism-
does end up with
exorcism
jelly
type
and you
of
do
things
get a
for that.
royal on your hand, by the way, burn it alive. Or I mean, you could maybe contain it. Maybe.
doesn't really sound safe. Can I borrow the rock?
need
a
So I can call Cypher Diaz and
I am kind of weirdly happy now that the death ritual killed off all my worms.
You could contain it. Just, you'd have to kill like half of its brood. And he's just mumbling to himself.
so I use the rock. Hello, Cypher Diaz.
Hello?
Get
Yes?
ready for the
Right.
snark.
Hi?
Especially in the middle of the night.
We're over at a friend's on our way back. We're almost there.
Uh-huh.
And we found some interesting things. And one of the things has to do with my silk business.
Yeah. I hear you, you just sent your first shipment up to Tanu. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently the worms that create the silk
Mhm.
that I'm selling, if they have some sort of affinity with jelly, any kind of jelly. And if they are exposed to the jelly and get a chance to eat any kind of jelly, apparently it turns into an apocalyptic mess because they create some sort of queen. And that queen grows ginormous and can destroy a whole city. So I need you to
don't see him doing this, but
message to my business to make sure that they keep the worms on a very strict diet They make sure that they have a count of where all of the worms are, and they don't let any of the worms loose, and everything is tightly done. And also that there is never any jelly of any kind anywhere near my business.
Okay.
Not even a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. No jelly. Zero jelly. Because if these things get jelly, apparently they will end up making royal jelly, which ends up making a queen, which ends up turning into a bad apocalypse.
And you hear from Garen and his mumbling, "Oh yeah, and the jelly explodes. That's right. Yeah.
And apparently the
Hollywood.
jelly explodes.
Yeah, it was weaponized. I remember. Yeah, I'm remembering this. Aha! Weapon. Gotcha. Yep. Don't ever.
Right,
No
so
jelly.
Please, no jelly.
And you hear Siphidius on the other line. I'm sorry, did you say weaponized jelly?
Yes, apparently. That explodes. All from cute little worms.
So, I have a... magical arsenal of explosives in the center of my
you
city.
Do not have a magical arsenal of explosives. You have the potential for something really, really horrible to happen, but it just comes with a warning label. Don't feed them jelly. Make sure there's no jelly ever anywhere near them. That's just simple and cut. Just as long as we don't do that, just like, you don't do things for certain magical objects.
In the background, someone who's looking for new weaponry is just jotting down the jelly for worms to get bombs. Gotcha.
I have a business proposal that could maybe...
This is not a business proposal.
No. Hear me out. Maybe we do this conversation like... What time is it?
It's like almost 10 o'clock at night.
Maybe we do this conversation in like, I don't know, like 8 hours or something, and...
Wait before you drop the bomb talk on
But
me.
here's my friend Garen. He's not the guy from our party, but here's our friend Garen. He can explain. Garen, can you explain to Siphidius that this is not a business proposition? You cannot do this.
Garen takes the rock and he goes, "How do I?"
Just talk.
Hello? Hello?
It's got keep changing.
Is anyone gonna? Are we just sitting in silence now?
Siphidius,
Yeah. Yes.
Go out like
Yes.
can you hear Garen?
And Garen's going, "Hello, hello," and he goes, "I heard someone say hello very briefly. Is Garen living or undead? Because that would be a problem."
Not quite living.
Okay. Well, if he's undead, he can't use the rock then.
Oh, crap. Okay, I take the rock back. I'm sorry. Apparently, Garen is undead, so he can't.
Oh, and Garen goes, that seems inefficient as a communication device.
Yeah, it is a little inefficient, Garen. I'm sorry.
You just hear on the other line, "What do you mean inefficient? It's perfectly sufficient for what it's used for. I talk to
Well-
living people."
Well, he is our friend, and he happens to be undead.
Your friend's dead, so... Was he like a vampire?
Don't worry about what he is. He was going to try to explain
Oh, dude, yeah.
the horror of possibly giving some of my little babies jelly,
Yeah.
and how they could turn into this massive, horrible weapon. And this is really, really bad.
And Garen, over your shoulder, is just like, well, how about you hold the rock and I can just... Okay, so...
Okay, I will hold the rock and he will talk. Can you hear him? Go ahead.
And he tells you, yeah, I can hear him. The problem here is, if you give them jelly, they will create a queen via making the jelly royal jelly. From there, once the queen has eaten enough royal jelly, which they can then begin producing once they have jelly, they can make it through their complicated process. Anyways, once they have royal jelly, the queen will make predatory soldier-like worms, which are roughly like half her size, 6 legs, massive maws with like pincers and fun stuff. Anyways, yeah, so she creates those things as bodyguards. If she happens to be in a position where she feels threatened, they attack, kill to the last until there's nothing threatening it. They also harvest living creatures at that point for more raw resources to create more silk. In fact, some of the best silks come from... Anyways. Then on top of that, they have the royal jelly. Once it's being made, has a highly explosive capability. It's probably enough to like level a house with, I don't know, a gold piece worth. And usually they produce it in like a barrel's worth. And you just hear Cyphidius on the other line. Okay, yeah, no, that...
Really bad, Cyphidius, really bad. So it's not a bargaining tool.
Garen, do they have the ability to do any magic or anything like that? Garen, no, they're not resistant to magic, or they don't have the ability to do magic, or... I mean, they're pretty clever, but aside from being clever, they don't have any magical abilities. That's what you're asking.
See, you hear that? They get smart.
So, Garen, would you mayhaps agree that, and hear me out on this one, it's not fully thought out, maybe a pocket dimension could solve this issue? He watches Garen. Yeah. Huh. You'd have to find a way to feed them. So maybe you make a pocket dimension of wheat. That's too much food.
Slowly plotting how we get the fucking insect war beasts.
The problem would be collection. They'd eat anything you sent through. Cyphidius is kind of on the one. It's just like, okay, so they eat. Okay, all right, so that they'd eat anything I sent through. All right, great. That include like you could have. I mean, I don't have the ability to make one. Could they eat a golem? Then I don't. Possibly? I don't know. I don't... That... There's a reason we shouldn't be talking. I shouldn't be talking with this man. I shouldn't... This is bringing back memories. I'm going to back away from this conversation.
Reminds me of the war.
That's gonna be it. I'm sorry.
Cyphidius just like, whoa, wait.
He's like, that's it.
No, what? All right. Yeah, wake a guy up at middle of the night and give him a great idea. Okay. Moving on.
Just no jelly.
Sure, no jelly.
No.
All right, at this point, no jelly. I agree to your terms. At this point, holder of the magic bombs within our city and predator creatures. I shall make sure that no jelly is to touch your worms or be near your worms, or no crumb of such vile things as jelly shall ever be on any of your employees. I'll put guards on it. That's like the best I can do is put guards on it and enforce, like, I don't know, maybe like a checkpoint as they go through and out. And,
Thank you.
Yeah, like a jelly guard.
yeah. What?
Jelly guard.
Sure, that's not a thing, but all right.
The jelly guard.
But, you know, I'm just gonna reserve the right to, in the future, once I've thought of a full...
We will talk about this later. We have enough problems. Right now we have a scary crown that's following Senna.
Right. And just think what a little explosive jelly could do to a ship full of demons.
Solve the problem.
Apparently that has nothing that won't even touch it.
We will discuss that. We will discuss that. I'm just saying.
According
Just
to Garen, what we would need is we need a necromancer and
Why would you need a necromancer
magical...
for demons?
No, we're talking about for the crown.
No, I'm talking about the demons. Remember, you brought up the whole there's demon ship threat thing, right?
Yeah.
Hey, now you're telling me we've got explosive super jelly possibility thingy mabobber in town, right?
Right.
Throw the jelly on the demons. Big bada boom. Problem solved. Ocean's clear.
No, problem not solved because
I'm
number
sure
one.
there's some extraction problems, and we got a little bit of talking to do. There'd have to be an entire organization devised to the harvesting and collecting of the jelly. You could possibly call it SCP. Never mind.
Look, the bottom line is we need someone
Mhm.
that has greater healing,
Greater healing.
greater restoration.
Restoration.
Did someone hurt?
No, for the crown.
Oh, greater restoration.
Yeah. Garen, you said greater restoration, the bigger restoration.
Yes,
right?
bigger restoration. That's the one. Should do it 2 times. It's done. Or a
Greater
fortnight of lesser.
We need a greater restoration, first of all, just to make it stop following her.
Okay.
Maybe to stop it from continuing to move. I think maybe if we have the possibility of banish,
I have banish. I don't have greater restoration. I have
then
banish.
we can get it banished.
Okay.
And with the greater, but we'd have to do the greater restoration first because it's like left its emotional juju ink on her.
I may not have coffee in my system, but where am I banishing this thing? What plane of existence would it possibly be safe on? I mean,
Apparently back to wherever it came from, wherever Dread.
ask Garen where it came
Walker
from.
does it. What Garen? Where would
Yes.
he be banishing it to?
There's oh god, my plane knowledge is crappy at this point. There's a plane of shadows, plane of Shadowlands or something like that.
Garen said something like a plane of shadows or Shadowlands.
I can look that up, sure.
That's where you'd be
Dash have
banishing.
any information? Because he's kind of a plane hopper.
If any of you would like to attempt to figure out what plane I'm talking about here, yeah, you can go ahead and make me a planar knowledge. I think that might fall
What
under
would that
Arcana, but let me double check here.
Just Arcana?
I think
Dash
it
did.
would fall under. Yeah, I think it'd fall under Arcana.
Dash get any bonuses being a kind of dimension hopper himself before getting roped into all this?
Um,
Living in the Feywild,
I'd
hopping around
be
for
willing to
adventures.
give you advantage on that. Yeah, and if Senna would like to do any of her jazzy things with her bardic inspirations or her clerical things, guidance.
Then I got a 21.
I got 11.
Oh no! 21.
Mm.
Would that be enough?
Mm.
Yeah, I'd say 21 might be enough. So, the plane that you are looking for here is the plane of the Shadowfell.
Okay, so do you tell me that so I can tell it to Cypher Diaz?
Imagine she
Yeah.
shares it.
Okay, so you go ahead and share that. Great.
Apparently, Senna says it's the plane of the Shadowfell.
The name sounds vaguely familiar. I'm gonna have to do research on that. All right.
Okay, well, that's where you
okay.
would be sending it. But we got to get all the bad juju off her so Dreadwalkers don't start following her. So we have to do the greater restorations first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
We're about 3 days out. We're over at Garen's.
All right. Okay.
So we're almost back.
Um,
But, remember, no jelly.
Yeah. Right. No jelly guard. No jelly. Till further discussions. Okay. Anything else you'd like to drop on me?
Our Garen is apparently still drunk. He has been drunk for several days, and which is obviously not healthy.
Something other than your party's personal stuff.
No, he drank something back in this town that we were in, and he has not recovered.
Okay.
And we literally have had to tie him to his horse, and he's almost pretty much non-responsive. And I don't think we have anything that can help him, so we're going to have to leave him there in the town and have like some serious medical professionals look over him to find out what is wrong with him.
Isn't Senna a cleric? Hasn't she tried like lesser restoration? I can't even speak right now. Lesser restoration on him, or did that do anything?
It's possible that I didn't really notice that he was out for a few days until
Yeah, you
just
haven't
now.
noticed how quiet it's been.
I guess
He
I've
was out.
been focused on this giant, scary hammer that's been following me around.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
He's been out the entire time.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll be back in 3 days.
Sure. I don't remember if I told you or not, but is Desh there? Is Desh there?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're.
Oh.
If it's about my
I'll
gun,
handle
I
it.
Yes. Yes, it's totally done. I'm gonna go to
collect it when we're in the city.
fantastic. I'm gonna go back to bed now. Yeah. Bye. And you just stop hearing the rock talk.
I'll throw a lesser restoration on Garen, see what happens.
All right. So you throw a lesser restoration on Karen, and go ahead and make me a. This is an Arcana check.
Oh no.
What did we roll? 'Tis the question.
8.
An 8.
Okay, you feel as though there's something that is tied itself to Garen in some way.
God, the
And
booze parasite.
the lesser restoration struggled against it, but apparently was not powerful enough.
All right. Maybe I'll try again tomorrow.
Okay. Fantastic. All right, and you guys go ahead and I assume you rest for the evening, unless you guys would like to do any other discussions. Poke other Garen for more information or anything like that.
No, I think
I'm
I
already-
have poked enough. I've poked
Yeah.
the bear enough.
Heading out to set up my tent.
Okay. So you're sleeping outside?
Yeah. It's
Well,
it's a
I'm
thing.
sleeping inside because Garen takes watch all night long because he doesn't sleep.
Yeah. He sits on the
So- porch
with a long sword. You know, redneck shotgun style.
Yeah, well, I can be just, in, like, my tent can be in line of sight. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm gonna help clean up after dinner,
Mhm.
and before I go to bed, I'm gonna go out to their garden that they've created, their greenhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna try to bless it.
You don't have that ability, as you're not
I
a
know,
cleric
but I can
yet.
pray.
But you can certainly make me a religion check and pray your sweet little heart out.
Okay.
Nor are you a druid, so.
While she does that, I will use my stone shape to make a little animal for Sophie out of stone of her choice.
Okay. She asks you for an undead bear.
I will make an undead bear.
How is it undead? You just have, like, bits of stuffing hanging out of it?
I'll have like some skull exposed or something.
Yeah. She like runs around the house for a while with it until eventually Garen has to come inside and tell her to go to bed, and she shows him it, and he's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." It's like a dire zombie bear thing. That's it.
Dire, zombie, dread, bear.
He didn't
Lord.
say dread.
Just keep adding on weird title misnomers.
They are weird. That's fantastic, actually. Go ahead and make me for this, to see how artistic it is. Let's go ahead and have you make me let's have you make a nature check.
Okay.
How
That's
well
not my
you're
strong
able
suit.
to shape nature to your will.
Okay. Since I'm obviously making an effort, I will guidance myself before
Sure,
I cast
absolutely.
the stone shape. Nature check. Oh.
Okay.
I mean, I'll roll the d4.
Sure. All right. So it's like, even though you rolled a 1, it's like, it ends up looking like someone did a wood carving of like a grizzly bear, and its features are like, there's no distinction in between its features other than that because this portion is a little jutted out, that's where the nose is and things like that. And like the best you were able to do to make it look undead was like you made like 3 little grooves where a rib would be. Yeah, but other than that, it's like fairly smooth in the general outline shape.
Yeah,
Kinda like
good
my
enough.
prayers. Yeah, kind of like my prayers.
Yeah. There was an effort made.
There was an effort made, definite effort made, and lots of love went behind it.
Not enough, but lots. Okay. So you guys go ahead and get a full night's rest.
Yep.
So go ahead and heal yourselves up and do any spells you want to do, prepare anything you want to do for the next day. As the morn comes around and already, Sophia is, she's very early in the morning, in fact. You hear her kind of moving around roughly at about like 4 or 5 in the morning. She gets up and she is like kneading bread when you come into the kitchen.
I'll help her.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a. Yeah, rolls are involved with cooking. Go ahead and make me a. Hmm. I'll give you a little help here. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
Okay, so you do a fairly decent job helping her out with this stage of making homemade bread. All right. And as the sun peeks over the mountains and everybody's all up and about, um, Garen goes ahead and gets out of his chair and stops sitting there like a stone rock that only moves its head every 5 minutes. And kind of comes inside.
Bloody fan.
Oh, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's just like look in one direction for 5 minutes, then look in the other direction for 5 minutes. Because
Well,
you've
the thing's been
noticed.
creeping up on him in 5 minutes.
No, you notice he doesn't technically need to look in a direction to react to something. His eyes are kind of just there for show.
Wow.
Good to know.
Very good to know.
Always watching.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But yeah, he comes in and he starts making a proper breakfast while Sophie is putting the bread into the fire to go ahead and bake it. And he gives you guys a nice hearty breakfast that he makes himself. And go ahead and roll me a D10 each of you.
Boy.
Okay. Okay. And okay. So, Cinna and Sasha, you both get 9 temporary hit points for the first half of the day, and Desh, you get 2 temporary hit points for the first half of the day.
Cool.
And that is where we are going to take our break, and we will be back with more The Black Waves. See you soon. BRB. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Black Waves. Okay, so you go ahead and you eat your breakfast, and you guys are all set to head out when you want. Garen is still.
I tie him to his horse.
And other Garen just is like, he should maybe hold on. And he takes a little bit of the like thick slabs of bacon that he made, and he chops it up very finely, and he's like, And he goes out, and he returns like 3 minutes later with some leaves, and he puts them in a mortar and paste, and he starts crushing them and makes the leaves into a fine paste and mix the bacon in it. Feed him that to keep him alive.
I feed it to him.
Not all of it. Not just over time. You got 3 days to
feed him a
travel.
little bit.
So yeah. Well, you're always welcome back, and feel free to bring nails. We're gonna need a couple.
Will do.
Have a good one. And he watches both of them kind of wave you off from the
Bye.
porch. So, Desh, if you would please make me your survival roll.
With guidance.
Mum-pa-da-da.
23.
All right, fantastic. Not bad at all. You actually managed to shave quite a few hours off of your journey. So you're able to cut your travel time to about 2.5 days with the route that you end up taking. And eventually, night does roll around. You guys can either choose to push on, or you can set up camp.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to push on or do you want to set up camp?
Well, we are close, yes, but I think our time here has already shown bad things come out once the sun sets. It is perhaps a great risk to travel.
Right. Set up camp.
Okay, you guys go ahead and set up camp. And I'm not gonna make you roll to like find a decent spot. You kind of know where some of the really decent spots are, and seeing as you're sort of retracing your steps but taking more optimal paths, you're like, well, I know like just over that way is a pretty decent camping site. Kind of head back there, and you can see like long worn over at this point, but sort of slight remnants of where your camp used to be in these spots. Excuse me. And this continues on. Let's see here. Go ahead and give me 3 perception checks, or 2, depending on how you want to set up the watch system.
I'll roll 1. I guess I can grab middle watch.
Okay, fantastic. So, Sasha, Senna, your watches go without any issue whatsoever. You don't notice anything strange in the darkness, nothing like that. Desh, you rolled a 20. Okay.
Do I see the horror before anyone else?
You guys, you don't run into any horrible things. However, what you do see is that just as your watch is coming to an end, you notice one of those black elephants with the handprints kind of roam by. And also, the forest has been having those quiet hours again.
Couldn't those elephants be further on the other side?
No, they come to the side too.
Hmm.
They're very stealthy, though. Unless you roll 20. All right. Eventually, the sun comes back up. Remember to mark off that you no longer have those temporary hit points, because that 12 hours has already passed.
Okay.
And you continue your travel. And it goes on like this for the next 2 days. And around midday on the third day, you can see the trees break, and you come into the opening of vast farmlands about halfway through their growth season. So the stalks of corn have raised and aren't ready to harvest just yet, but they're getting there. And there's a decent potato field off to your left, and cabbage patches that you can see in people's yards. Fun stuff. And do you head straight for the city, or do you have any special plans before you go in?
I'm heading straight for Cyphidius.
Okay.
Because I've got this sample vial of dirt and one of like bloody goo. And we've got all these photos, and
Sketches.
we've got this Deathwalker crown, and I'm figuring, we really need to get this thing off of Senna as soon as possible.
Okay. You guys go ahead and make your way through the very busy streets of your hometown, and let me actually bring you guys right on over to the hometown map. Windgrill.
No more creepy forest.
Oh.
Nice to be home.
Oops, there we go. Okay. You make your way over to the Citadel, and you're easily let in, because at this point people definitely recognize who you guys are. And as you enter, you can see that there are a few people who are at the very long dining hall table that was converted into sort of the council chambers, writing away at several papers. No important figureheads, no nobles or anything like that, but more like their secretaries are still here, like writing away at things. You can see sort of an open treasure chest. There's a person counting away coinage for possibly taxes or something that was recently collected, and making notes. And you go ahead and you head up the stairs to the second floor of the Citadel, where you run into Cyphidius kind of sitting in a writing room. And you're given the shifty eyes, Sasha, as a man hobbles his way out of his room, out of Cyphidius' room, before making his way down the hall. And back in your vague memory, you remember you may have shot that man in the foot.
Yeah. By the way, during this time that we were on the road, I did clean and clear my gun.
Okay. Yep. Well, welcome back. Yep. So, lots of fun adventures. Lots of mysteries.
By the way, here's a sample vial of dirt and one of bloody goo.
Great. What am I supposed to do with these?
Your experiments or whatever you do that you wanted to know about the city.
Right. Oh, that's the stuff.
Here's the pictures of the drawings of what it looked like when it finally came back. Here's a few pictures of what the steamy forest area looked like, and then the trees looked like.
How long ago were you there?
We went by twice. The first time
The
when
first
we
time.
left.
The first time. How long ago?
It was like less than 2 weeks, and then when it was just a puddle
Too long. Yeah. Okay.
of red
Yeah.
bloody goo,
Gotcha. That's a little
which
too
is
long.
this vial of bloody goo.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then when we came back,
Mm-hmm.
the bloody goo was gone, and
Oh, it was gone.
It looked like this decrepit city that we have these drawings of, like it had been like some ancient ruin or something. And here is some of the dirt from that that place.
Any signs of life in there?
We heard some sort of screech from some sort of creature, but we didn't exactly want to go investigate that thing.
Yeah, probably not the best idea. Okay, fantastic. And I hear we have a evil hammer thing.
Yeah, crown.
Right over there. Yep.
Oh, follows you around like a dog. Great.
So did you find a necromancer?
No. Nope. Nope. Definitely not one here.
All right. Well, so what are you gonna do? Are you gonna do the?
Well, I found a cleric
Restoration.
that can do the restoration. Yeah.
And then,
you may
like,
know him,
banish it.
Father Anthony.
And of course, we've got Garen here, and the lesser restoration didn't work on him.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Great. Things are happening. Okay. Now, last time we spoke about the goo thing, and he points to the jar of like bloody goo.
Yeah.
You said things came out of it.
Yeah.
Is that? Have you had anything come out of this?
No.
Okay, great, fantastic. Just checking. Because I don't want to, maybe like start experimenting with it and then suddenly billions of man-eating ants come out or some weird thing like that.
I gotcha. I understand. I mean, obviously, I'm the woman of the worm. I didn't know that I was. But...
Woman of the worm.
well, Desh ate a few of them. Called them tasty. Burped. No problem.
Or small,
the
bite-sized.
person that you talked to, did they... Garen, the other Garen,
Yeah.
did he mention if that was a bad thing?
We never
So far,
asked him
brought up.
about whether or not it was bad to eat them.
Okay.
It has
Wow.
been many weeks.
Well, you haven't
Fine.
exploded, so yeah, that's a good thing. Your skin does not appear to crawl with lesions with these worms pouring out of them. You feel weird, anyway, or
Not physically, no.
okay? She done a lesser restoration on you, or?
I've received healing magic for battles, but outside of that, nothing else.
Okay.
We didn't know the worms were bad until recently, and I forgot. that he
Surprise to
ate.
me.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've put up jelly guards, as you've said, and also there's sort of a general order that we kind of written out and posted around the city. Don't bring weird shit into the city. Yeah, even if it seems docile.
At least not through unofficial channels.
At least not through official channels. I don't know about unofficial channels or smuggling issues. God dang it. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about that.
And here's this. We have a power leech corpse, but we've got to
A
turn
what?
it into the Timu. I thought you might want to see it first.
What is a... Are you talking about the thing that was attached to the box of electricity?
Yeah. That comes from the Golden City.
Do you have just one?
Yeah, I have one power leech quartz.
Okay, so no dissecting. Gotcha.
But I figured you might want to maybe
look over.
magically examine it
Sure. Sounds fun.
before I have to take it to the Timu.
Tenu.
The Tenu.
You're confusing Tenu and Timo.
Well, potato.
One is a potato, another is a potato.
You know, I could just give you the power leech corpse and just not tell them that I had one.
That's also... How much gold would you like?
You know, you gave me guards, so we'll call it even.
Call it even. Great, fantastic. Yeah, I'll take that right off your hands.
So I give him the power leech corpse.
Sure, you bring it out and it's like dried and it's kind of deflated.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Desh preserved it, so
It should also be cold because of the fact that I had it in my cooling bag.
Oh, if you put it in the cooling bag, well then fantastic. No, it comes out like it pulled it off the generator just yesterday.
huzzah.
That's interesting. Well, I'm gonna have fun with that.
Can I swap out these cure disease potions with regular potions? Could I do that?
Well, if we're talking business in that way, you can certainly come by my shop this evening and we can discuss perhaps a profitable way that we could exchange such potions at possibly a 15 gold exchange fee per potion.
Okay, that's fine.
Fantastic. Put her there. He holds out his hand.
I shake his hand.
Great. How many?
I have 4.
All right. Yep. We'll get on that. Oh, any other business you want to do while you're here? Because I've got a lot of experience. Oh, right. Yes, of course. Correctamundo,
Yes,
you are. And he goes behind his desk and he takes out a carefully wrapped rifle and places it on the table. There you are. You are now one owner of one magically enchanted boomstick.
Desh will unwrap it usually like a Christmas present, as adults unwrap their Christmas presents, trying to save the wrapping paper. As seeing the new weapon, does the whole give it the paces, like make sure chamber works and all that, make sure you get a feel for it again.
Oh yeah, it's just how you remember it. A little heavier.
I also show him one
Also
of
a
the
tiny bit
onyx
shinier.
coins and explain to him that there were 30 gold pieces out in the north, and they're called the King's Gold.
How far north?
Just about six days or so, 5 or 6 days.
Okay. King's Gold, you said?
Yeah, they use regular gold and silver and those things. But if you get one of these are considered to be the King's Gold, and they're worth 30 gold each.
Okay. You might want to talk to a bank and get that entered as official currency of the land, as it were, but that's a whole different thing. I don't deal with that. Right. So, any other fun, exciting, tantalizing creatures of darkness that you've discovered?
Outside of what we have told you.
Outside of what you've told me.
No.
All right. Kind of looks disappointed at that.
I don't you think we've gotten into enough mischief?
Well, you're not dead, so I'd say you're doing pretty good. One of you is unconscious, though. fun. So it'll take me a while to figure all of this out and stuff. I'm available at my shop between the hours of 7 and, well, basically 10, since people are going to be calling me at night.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought it was very important.
Pertinent, very, very.
And we ended up getting a lot more information than we originally thought we would from that conversation alone. So.
Okay. Is there anything else that I can help you with? No?
So what's been happening back here?
Oof. There's a lands meet next week. There is talk about expanding the town. There is a new weird version of a blight that hit one of the crops, and we've had to burn that entire field. There is now jelly guards. There is heavy discussion about how this damnable mist is causing issues, and there should be some way to solve it. There's talks about demon incursions and what could possibly be done to safeguard the city. There's been a massive undertaking by a number of the artisans to put together a university for general population learning, because they want to increase the number of craftsmen who can do things like create siege weapons, and possibly interest more people in learning magic for those who are magically gifted but don't know it yet. And there's all sorts of fun stuff. I'm getting my mage tower built.
Boats.
Yeah.
Oh, I
What's
forgot
up?
to tell you about boats.
What about boats? We've got some.
No, apparently to the northeast of us, the dwarves make boats that actually work,
Oh,
that they don't have issues with.
great! These dwarves
So we
friendly?
might want to set up a trade with the dwarves.
Okay, alright. So,
From what I
Dwarf.
recall, most people outside of Tenu City put dwarves as being the most advanced alongside Tenu. Other dead friend we had to talk to, he says
Yeah.
they make things called ironclad, something he thought would be good for storming demon ships.
well, at least this planet has a solving solution for every issue we run into, which includes demon ships. Great. Alright, fantastic. So, did he mention how friendly he said dwarves were?
Apparently, they hate the undead.
I mean, it's generally everybody, but...
But other than that,
I mean,
don't
how would
think
you
he
feel
really
if your
does.
grandma picked up an axe after she was long dead and then started swinging it at you?
Well, I think basically he didn't have the best relationship with them because, they were dwarves and they were underground, and he came from an underground city and they were all undead and they fought over territory type of thing. So
That makes
I don't
sense.
think that his people and their people were like friendly.
Okay, alright, great. Any, have you know anything about the dwarves from the Tenu?
I vaguely think I remember the two being like, God, I can't believe they're doing our shtick kind of thing, but I might be remembering it wrong.
Okay.
I don't think the Tenu brought up the dwarves very much.
No, they like briefly mentioned them.
Yeah, I think that's like, oh yeah, dwarves are a thing, because we were like, what's all a thing here? Like,
excuse
this is a thing, this is a thing, that's a thing.
Right.
No word on disposition, I suppose.
I'm not sure that any dwarves live in Tenu City. I don't think they do. I think they probably just trade with them.
No, you've run into two dwarves in the Tenu City. There was one that acted as a guide for you when you were getting your apartment. He worked at the apartment block that you technically lived at. And there was another one that helped you from the military base. He helped you learn the tram system.
Oh yeah, so they are dwarves in Tenu
Yeah.
City.
Not very many, but there are. They do exist there.
But there are a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they happen to mention how far northeast? Because that's sort of that could be anywhere between a short to a very long expedition.
Well,
guys
he
remember?
said very much northeast of where we spoke to our friend, and he, based on what we told him, how far we ventured, it was more northeast of where we even went. So, at least week and a half, if not more.
Okay. Other than
Cannot say for certain.
dwarves and the Tenu, which are just halflings who are being fancy, and those royal elves that they have, any normal elves? Any...
Apparently, all elves are rural.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Well, that's going to be a fun conversation one day. I'm running out of things to probe you with. Who's up for an expedition to the northeast?
If
We can't. We have to go after the heart.
well, that
Okay.
would take time still.
All right. Okay, so I gotta pick
But if our best bet is to get to the heart, to the continent to the west.
continent to the west. Okay, so there is a continent to the. Okay, great. Any information about this continent to the west? I mean, once we've dealt with this whole
Apparently it was-
mist demon thing, I'm sure we need to establish a trade line. And
From what I recall, Dead Garen said that it was advanced dead
So-
races.
Cursed?
Yeah, cursed. Seriously cursed. Like if you send a party there, you might get one person back. Cursed. Super cursed.
Well, at least I have to deal with a demon fleet before we even talk about heading that direction. So.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check on my house
Have
and
fun with that, yeah.
the store and see if we made any money and
Toodles.
yeah. Are you gonna stay here and work on Senna for a while? I mean, I could come back and check on her.
Right. No, that's not me. Father Andy is going to do that. I can lead you there. Come, send it here with me. And he stands up and
Okay,
kind of
I will
dusts himself
follow.
off, and it's clear that he's been at this desk for a very long time because you see crumbs of breakfast that he's like wiping off of his coat. All right, and he leads you out, and you guys you go out of the citadel, and there's a small chapel that is like buttressed against the side walls of the citadel wall, and it's very small. But he goes in there. Essentially, you just cross the courtyard, and there's a half orc in there, in the robes of someone who is a worshiper of. I believe it's a church too. Oh God, what's his name? Oh God, I don't remember his name. Oh no. It's one of the good gods. It's the All-Father. That's what his name was.
The all
The All-Father. And he kind of just points you at him and says, "That's Father Andy. Have fun with that." And he kind of just slowly backs out of the church.
Okay. I'll approach Father Andy.
Sure. You approach. And he kind of turns to you, and you can see he's actually a younger half-orc. It looks like he's no older than maybe maybe about 26, 27. He's built like an adventurer. Clean shaven, crop haircut, and piercing purple eyes. And he just goes, "Oh, welcome, welcome. How can I help you?"
Well, I have this cursed evil hammer following me around.
You hear as it taps into one of the pews and kind of spins for a second before.
I think Siphidius may have spoken to you about my little problem.
You're the hammer one.
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah, it has a crown. The crown is the curse
Yeah, it's
item.
on the hammer now. It's a whole thing. It
Okay.
was an
Okay.
accident.
Right. Okay. I need to check to see if Greater Restoration requires you to touch something.
Hopefully not,
you shouldn't
because if
touch
you
it.
touch the crown, then it will like eat your soul, and we wouldn't want that.
Lesser restoration requires touch.
Yep. Range touch.
Well,
So.
doesn't the greater restoration have to be done on her? It has to be done
On the
on
hammer.
the crown.
Okay. So Eddie, I was given like some general warnings. Like apparently, there's like a whole. I need to do greater restoration on it twice. He said something about a fortnight with lesser restoration, but that would take too long. You guys got anything else before I?
Well,
We were told that we were going to need a divine object by necromancer to be held in one hand, and if you do that, then you can touch the crown.
Okay, I was not told that.
Yeah, just casual divine relics of necromancy lying around.
Sure.
We got those, right?
I'm sure there's some around here.
Huh. Is there any other way to maybe touch it?
Anti-magic cage
Oh.
might be a possibility.
But I think even if you put it in an anti-magic cage, you still can't touch it.
Right. But I could lead it in there, and
Huh.
if you had one.
Okay. Right. That's a... Savidius! And he storms past all of you.
Siphidius hates us.
And you
No,
kind of...
Siphidius loves us because we are the interesting part of his whole world.
I guess.
You watch as he opens the chapel doors, and you can see Siphidius is like halfway across the courtyard, and his hand is on the handle of the citadel doors. And he's like, Siphidius! And you just see Siphidius go, yes? Come here! Watch as the two of them start muttering at the door when Siphidius gets over there. And Siphidius looks like very uncomfortable near him for some reason. And eventually Siphidius is like, right. So I don't have like a anti-magic room, but I do have an anti-magic cage kind of just lying around for no reason. So maybe we can try that. Great.
Yeah.
I'll be back. Siphidius leaves. I swear, that boy. Anyways.
So how do you know Siphidius?
Oh, I'm... You didn't know?
Know
where-
what?
That's my brother.
Really?
I mean, adopted brother, but still.
Wow. That's pretty cool. it was nice to have
He
family.
doesn't talk about me, does he?
We don't
Well,
hang out with
considering
him.
the fact that
Oh.
I don't have
Okay.
any family, he probably, it's not like he socializes
Oh.
with me
Oh.
or anything.
I mean, he's
He
talked
pretty
about you
much
guys a lot,
just thinks
so...
I'm annoying.
Yeah, no. He's said as such.
Considering the fact that he thinks I'm so annoying, I would be doubtful that he would actually tell me anything like that. That's really cool that your brother.
And yeah. He's very grumbly at dinner.
Okay.
So, are any of you perhaps followers of the Allfather?
Saren Ray.
Oh, respectable.
I do not hold gods.
Mistra.
Okay. Oh! That is not a name I have heard in a long time.
I like to keep it old school.
Yeah.
I would actually like to build a temple to Saren Ray. Can I do that?
You can do whatever you want. I mean, of course, you're going to have to talk with the treasury, and then you're going to have to write up a whole, blueprints, and then you have to get your church license and districting. It took me 2.5 months just to get this little corner shack shit place. Yeah. Yeah. Haven't consecrated the grounds just yet. Been working on that.
Well, unfortunately, I am a wannabe cleric. I'm not a cleric, but I would like to have. I would.
I mean, Saren Ray's on the same, scale of good, so our gods work together occasionally. I can help you out with that.
That would be so awesome. That would be. I would be so indebted to you. That would be incredible.
Sure. We're gonna need like 3 months to fully get you learned and then anointed and baptized and all that fun stuff.
Well, we happen to be on this heart quest, which is crucial because if we don't get the heart back to the Fey realm, then his mother dies and most of the Fey realm dies.
Oh,
So-
I've been to the Fae realm before. Who's your mommy?
I was raised by the Grand Huntress of the Grove, Vala.
Wouldn't happen to be the sister to the Grand Huntress of the Weeping Well, would she?
I believe she's mentioned her sister once or twice.
Huh. Weird. Alright.
No, she did not speak of her time in court often. She detested it, preferred to stay in the wilds.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It was not a pleasant experience when I was there.
You look kind of young. I hate to. I mean, it's not that you're not
I
very
would
pretty. It's
hope
just
that I look kind of young. I'm still in my 20s.
well, I'm just saying to have done all that, you look really
Oh, yeah.
young.
Well, I did my fair share of adventuring when I was a little bit younger. I only retired 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
14, started adventuring. Killed first giant at 17. And
Oh my.
I think, what was the biggest thing I killed? God, I can never remember their names. They're a floaty ball thing with eyes, lasers, and fun stuff.
Beholder.
That's the one. Yeah, Beholder. Yeah.
Wow. You have led an interesting life.
Not really.
Wow.
Never got to see a dragon.
Oh, there's
dragon.
one. We met one. There's one in the it's just a
There's a dragon here.
yes.
No,
Wingless dragon
Ooh.
after injuries when the magic left the world.
She let us spend the night with her.
friendly?
I mean, she didn't eat us.
Did she threaten to eat you?
She lives out in the sand
Okay, yeah.
over by the Golden City.
What? Unfamiliar Golden City?
It is Ruin, a great city of gold to the east, past the mountains into the deserts beyond. We were sent there to investigate, as it was, I believe, one of the earliest footholds
Settlements.
for our realm being here.
Oh, okay.
It was in that
Apparently they
journey
did
that
something
we met the dragon.
stupid, like magical
Yeah, I remember
fracking.
there was something stupid. Yeah, and apparently there's like, oh, boo-hoo, ley lines disrupted, something like that.
Yeah, they destroyed most of the ley lines in that entire area, which caused immeasurable damage apparently all over this planet.
Oh, so we left one destroyed planet for a slightly less destroyed one.
That the people here did.
Okay. That makes sense. Kind of. We didn't cause it, did we?
No, they caused it.
Oh, okay. Great.
but
Fantastic.
they
Because that
used
would... Whew, that's
they
a lot of
used-
praying.
Our people and our magic to
Interesting.
get to the ley line.
Interesting. And eventually you hear from, like, the courtyard... as there's the sound of something, like, being dragged across. And you watch as he kind of peeks out of the double doors of the chapel. Yep, that's a cage. And he opens up the doors, and there's just, like, a cage for, like, a dog? And Siphotius just drags it in and sets it on the floor and says, all right, see if you can get the hammer into this. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Maybe sit on it.
Sure. I'll try that.
Okay. You sit on top of the cage, and he opens up the front of it, and you watch as the hammer goes zzz, ding, and hits like the front of the cage, and then ding, and hits like the opening. But it doesn't like go in the opening; it goes right into the bar on the edge of the opening. And Siphotius just like leans over and stares at it for a second, and then grabs
use
one of
my,
the books that has the Allfather symbol on the print, and he just nudges the hammer into the cage, and you just watch as the book instantly disintegrates in his hand.
Wow.
And he goes, "Oh, that was not expensive, right?" Just watch his father, and he goes,
Probably just a hymnal, right? Got a lot of those.
"You owe me 6 pence." All right. Anyways, and he watches the hammer just slowly slides into the cage, and then Siphotius closed the door, and there's a blue flash. Suddenly, there's a cling, 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 cling of the crown and the hammer just landing onto the bottom of the cage.
Well, that was easy enough.
Yeah. You can't open the cage without deactivating the field, though, so that's going to be a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
This thing doesn't
Walk
like...
out of the room and see if it tries to follow.
It's a good point, yeah. Do that.
I will do that.
Okay. You walk out of the room. Nothing happens.
So we're free of our little tag along.
It's only temporary fix until we get a way to do the restoration so that it will no longer be tethered to you. So it's
Well-
like a temporary fix.
Temporary fix is doing a good job. So, yep. We need a new cage. He watches Father
so,
Andy pops him
um,
on the back of the head and says, "What do you mean you're going to need a new cage? You don't just say you need a new cage." Anyways, sorry, you were saying.
Why don't I just follow you over to your shop and now that that temporary fix is done and we can go ahead and take care of these disease potions.
Oh, yeah, yep, come with me.
I've got some potions I'd like to exchange as well. I have 4 too. If you have enough to trade them out.
Yeah. Sure, no problem. Come on. And you guys make your way over to, I was about to say Father Andy's. No, Sifo-Dyas's magical goods emporium. It's changed a little bit. You can see that there's like when you head inside, he's now shifted the dimensions of the inside so that it's more warehouse sized on the inside, despite it looking like a plain building on the outside. There are multiple floors. You can see that there are like flying magical, like partially visible hands moving around and organizing things. All sorts of fun things are going on. It's like, welcome to it. I finally got quite a few of my things permanently enchanted.
Looks great.
Yeah, well, thanks
Cool.
all in part to one little guy right there. And he points over to Dash. Yeah. So, yeah, potion exchange. So, what are we looking at? These cure diseases, you said?
Yeah, I have 4 cure disease potions,
Okay.
and I would like to exchange those for regular healing potions.
Mhm.
And I'd also like to, shop around and see what you've got here.
I've got a multitude of things. And then how many potions are you swapping out?
I've got 4 too.
Oh, both of you have. Okay, great. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Well, I have a number of magical items for you to peruse. So feel free, shop away. And he has up to any item up to very rare.
Okay, I asked him to take a good look at my blade of lawful judgment.
Okay. So you put that on. You just want him to examine it.
Yeah, I want him to tell me about it, and I'm also going to pull out my rapier and ask him if I can get my rapier enchanted.
Okay. What kind of enchantment? What strength?
Um,
What?
What do you-
Remember, it takes time. Then he points to Dash. He just got his rifle back, so what are you looking for?
You know what? Instead of the rapier, I'll take that back and take out my 2 of my daggers. And I want to know if I can get my daggers enchanted so when I throw my daggers, they will come back without hurting me.
I have a belt for that.
You do?
Yeah. Cost you a lot less to just buy the belt instead of enchanting each dagger.
Okay, well, how much is the belt?
Oh, the belt's like 200 gold. I'll go check the price. Hold on. And he goes over, and you watch as a ghostly figure, just like a generalized person, appears before him. This is a belt of returning. And the figure disappears into the ether. And you
Yeah,
can
I'll
see
buy a-
way back in the warehouse, you watch as a hand starts zipping around suddenly, goes to one of the shelves, grabs something, and then zips at high speed towards him, and then stops an inch from his face. And you see a leather belt before him, and he picks it up and he looks at the
Okay,
price tag on
I'll
it.
get that.
It's
Belt-
it's
it's called
100
Belt
and,
of Returning?
it's 180 gold pieces. I assumed it was 200, but it's 180.
Belt of Returning, you called it, right?
Yeah, it's a belt of returning. You can store like 4 items on it that can return to you. Yeah, it does
Okay.
require tuning. I should mention that. And then each of the 4 items has to be attuned to the belt.
Okay, well, I'll get that.
Okay.
Um,
What's that now?
and it's 180, not
Yeah, it's
200.
It's 180. He just guessed
Oh,
200. He wasn't actually looking at the price.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm definitely getting it. And I'm putting my rapier, my 2 daggers, and my will my short sword go in there?
Mhm.
And my short sword in there.
Okay. So you start the attunement process and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want?
Do you have any
I got
greater
my
healing
match mate.
potions?
Sure. I've got greater healing potions.
How much are they?
150 a pop.
Oh boy. I would have to go. I didn't bring enough gold from. I've got all these onyx coins, but I didn't exchange them. Okay, I'll just stick with these 4. And I'll go check on my business and see how we've done financially.
Okay.
Maybe I'll be able to come back and get some cool stuff.
Sure.
Once
Senna?
that's done.
Dash?
And whatever works.
I think I will go and visit my family and maybe come back tomorrow and take a look around.
All right. Dash, come on now. Perhaps a magical saddle for Nash. Magically enchanted bags. Something. I can get you anything in the world. Almost
I know.
anything in the world.
I know you do very good work, but sadly I have very little coin to trade in exchange.
I would totally be willing to set up a credit under such a well-paying customer's name. Say 500 gold credit. Month's time on any credit takeout. You're my best
I don't like
customer,
credit.
Dash. You, me, the
I-
stars, it's all aligned.
Just like how fixated he is on me right now.
Yes, yes, you were literally his best paying customer. You brought an experimental rifle to him, well, what he considers experimental, and let him toy with it, and paid the price.
Well, you say that like my gun's defective.
No, experimental to him because he really hasn't gotten a chance
No,
to play with
you
them.
said you paid the price. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know if you fucked up my gun.
No.
I mean, I don't even know what 500 gold would get me here.
A world of opportunity. Shop around. Think about it. Perhaps browse this very convenient book of the webs.
If I get my DMG to see what the rarity threshold holds.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Oh boy. And you said he had up to what, rare items?
He has up to very rare.
Very rare. Okay. Book, monster manual, Volo, Xanathars, DMG. There it is. I still have yet to get Tasha's.
Tasha's is pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I'm thinking I might have
Scared, by the way.
I might need to get D&D.
How is he?
Where is Garen and how is he?
I'm assuming he was strapped to a horse and or Timo and was outside the shop.
Timo's
Lord
keeping an
have
eye
mercy.
on him.
Yeah, we need to take him to the doctor or the priest or whatever.
I have braces of archery. I have a magical gun. I forget the braces of archery do require attunement, so that's one attunement slot. Ooh, I forget that's rare. That could be a real bitch if I get
Yep.
that. Does he perhaps have a cloak made of a familiar beast from my homeland, which is just tentacles covered in blackened spines? Look, they have panther fur. Displacer cloak.
I figured you were talking about a displacer, yes. Let me see. And he turns around and watches the ghastly figure appear.
I mean, that was my original magical item option before I had to change it to like, oh, I need a helmet that keeps my eyes from hurting.
One displacer cloak, please, if in stock. And he watches the ghastly figure disappears. Suddenly a hand goes crazy far off in the background and grabs something off a shelf and zooms up towards him. And he presents to you one displacer cloak for a measly price of only 200 gold.
Okay, well, I will give Desh 100.
Okay, well, if you're donating 100 gold, Dash would pay his fair share, which right now brings me up to 165 gold. And I can get the rest on credit, I suppose.
No, he said it was 200.
It's only 200 for that, yeah.
Yeah, 200 for that. If you're giving me 100, I only have 65 gold on my person, so that would leave me with another 35 gold I need to buy my credit, which is I can get that adventuring at random, I suppose.
So you're going to give him the 100 gold from her,
65 from me,
and then 65 from you. Okay.
and then that leaves 35 for his credits, which I'm sure has a lovely 20% interest or some shit.
Well, when I go back by my business, if I've made any money, I can take care of it. But if not, then I'll have to go by the bank and see whether or not I can set up something to exchange out my my Onyx coin. I have
You
over
know when
50 Onyx
it comes to verifying currency like that, it's going to take a while. You can't do that instantly.
I should have gotten more of them exchanged out, but I didn't think I was going to need all that much.
Because what they have to do is they'll have to look at the currency that you bring them. They'll sign a trust deed with you, and they'll pay you the equivalent of one coin, essentially. They'll then take that coin and send a expedition up to where you say it's from.
Right.
And have a person check the markets there and see if it's a legitimate coin. From there, they'll take it down and they'll have a minter come to the bank, look over all the markings on the coin and jot them down for records. And then they'll have to, from that point, it'll be an official coin at that bank. However, then they'll have to go through a whole printing process, get out notice to other banks. It's a fun process.
Right.
Finances in the fictional
I'll have to
world.
go by the bank for that anyway. I probably am going to have to go by the bank for my business anyway. But I need to go check on my business and find out how much money we've made from our trade.
And if you've started insect insurrection yet or not.
And have you when I left the town, I only had on me from the silk from the worms that I originally had. Before I left the town, I only had 1 pound of silk webbing. I should have a lot more silk webbing.
Yeah, you have about 3 additional.
Do I have 3 pounds?
You have 3 additional, so 4 in total.
Okay, so 4 pounds. Okay, so I also need to drop off these uh I need to drop off some of the silk webbing to have it made into silk
Okay.
for with the they have the machines.
Yeah, they do. Okay.
So I would like to take the extra 3 pounds by my shop and have we got the dye going yet? We're changing the color of the silk yet?
There's going to be all that. I'll have that entire discussion with you. But seeing as it is 12:18 a.m. And seeing as people have lives, what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to pause here, and we will come back next time where we will be able to look at all the fun finances of running a silk producing shop. And that will also give Wade some lovely time where he can look at his options for Desh to possibly use some of his credit and things like that. And if Cinna wants to go ahead and either try and open up a line of credit, or if she wants to look at her finances and see if she wants something, there's also that option as well.
I mean, probably for that, I'm going to have to ask you for anything that might be Nash-specific magic items, because as those magic items usually are just purely for the player, not for animal companions.
Right. So, thank you all so much for coming out. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see you guys next time. But before we go, I've been your DMGM storyteller, whichever you would like to call me, the Forgotten Dreams or Forgotten Dreams, depending on what platform you're on. And immediately up at the top, we have chewing on some good old food, one Wade.
I am Wade. I am Kobold Ranger Desh with my best buddy Nash, and some new magical swagger.
No. Next up, we have the wonderful Cinna Thunderhold being played by Ellen.
Ellen.
No. And then finally, we have Sasha Oak River being played by Cybermama47.
Bye guys, have fun.
And we will see you guys next time.
Hopefully with our new guy.
Bye.
And hopefully we'll have Quiet and Simple, who you all know, with us next time. Bye.